presentation of the National Football League.
Just a moment ago, the coin toss, and coming out with the Steelers, a member of their practice squad, Alejandro Villanueva, also significantly West Point graduate, Army Ranger, 3 tours of duty in Afghanistan, won the Bronze Star. His dreams to play in the NFL, and after all this great service to his country, he's on the practice squad for the Steelers. And Ben Roethlisberger and Brett Keisel, the leaders on each side of the ball, suggested to Mike Tomlin, when it's Veterans Day week, as we head back to Tuesday, let's bring Big Al on the road with us and be our honorary captain. Mike Tomlin said, absolutely, great idea. And Villanueva represented the Steelers for the coin toss, which was won by Tennessee, and they deferred, so Pittsburgh is going to get the ball first. It is a bitterly cold night. It's about as cold as it gets here in Nashville. The temperature is 25. This will be the coldest game played here at LP Field in Nashville. The wind is going to be left to right as you watch the game at about 10 miles per hour. In the stacked AFC North, the Steelers are 6-4. A win gets them within percentage points of first place. Marcus Wheaton takes the opening kickoff, and off we go from Nashville. Wheaton gets the edge past the 25 and escorted to the sideline by Ryan Suckup. And listen to all the Steeler fans. You're going to hear a lot of Pittsburgh noise here tonight. Ben Roethlisberger, tremendous numbers. The yards, 4th in the NFL. Look at the TD to INT ratio. Johnny's having as good a season as he's had, and that's saying a lot.
Yes, it is. He's involving everyone, Mike. A lot of experience in this system with Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator, and he's not getting sacked as much as we have seen. Still capable of creating a lot of offense, scrambling.
Opening drive starts at the 32-yard line. Le'Veon Bell to the left with space. Bell just shy of the 45. Will gain a dozen yards.
First play of the game. Tennessee Titans come with an all-out blitz. They're coming with linebackers. The safety's out of the middle of the field, and Ben Roethlisberger runs a power play off the left side, and out goes Le'Veon Bell. Bell has been awful quiet the last 2 weeks as a runner. They would love to reestablish this Pittsburgh Steelers ground attack.
DeMarco Murray, Arian Foster just ahead of him in yards from scrimmage. Outstanding. Second year back from Michigan State. He's got it coming to the right this time, and he won't go anywhere. Jarrell Casey lying on the ground to bring him down. Steelers up front been very solid. Kelvin Beacham's been over there starting in left tackle. Done a good job stepping in there. Pouncey's the leader up front. Martavis Bryant has come in and lit it up. 6 touchdowns in his first 4 games. That's an NFL record. Antonio Brown is tops in catches. Todd Haley's #1 receiver is #2 in receiving yards. Has really ignited this Steeler attack through October, now into November. 2nd and 10. 3rd carry in a row for Bell up the middle. Bell to the secondary. And to the Titans' 36-yard line.
Boy, he's got great patience as a runner. The backside is going to be blocked from the offside of the formation, but watch Bell start to his right, show great patience, let the blocking develop, and once he sees a hole, he hits it. A lot of people have talked about his vision and patience. Very uncommon for a young back.
19 yards on that carry. Roethlisberger had to go a little bit extra to get the ball to him. And he's still able to gain about 5 or 6 yards. Tackle made by Avery Williamson. Let me show you the rest of the defense. Sammy Hill returns. He missed the last game with a hamstring. Casey, their best defensive lineman. Williamson, eye-opening rookie, 5th rounder out of Kentucky, along with Wesley Woodyard handling the middle. In the secondary, Bleeding Ray Wilson struggles locating the ball. Jason McCourty's brother Devin, of course, plays for the Patriots. Michael Griffin's probably their best player, long-term Titan, former first-round pick. Been here 8 years now after leaving Texas. Second and 5, keep rolling with Bell. This time he is stopped. We mentioned Jarrell Casey. He joins Al Woods on the stop.
Al Woods, the ex-Pittsburgh Steeler, and Jarrell Casey, arguably the best Tennessee Titan defender, do a nice job stuffing that run. You'll see Casey, number 99, on the right side of your screen. Get off a block on the backside and make an impact tackle. Third down and a long 5, almost 6. Martavis Bryant at the top of the screen has been an explosive down the field option the last 3 weeks.
I'll tell you, this is normally right in field goal range, but the wind is coming at you in this direction, so it may be a tough field goal from this spot. They're going to run with Bell. Bouncing to the outside. Let's see what Tomlin's going to do. Kick a 49-yard field goal or go for it. Like I said, right on the edge. And that's why the conversation's going on. What are we going to do here? And they are going to give it a shot with Sweezer. So Bell carries all 6 plays there, 6 in a row.
I knew they wanted to reestablish their running game. Bit surprised in that down the distance they wouldn't give Roethlisberger a chance to throw it. Here's Sweezer.
Made a 53-yarder last week, also missed a 23-yarder. Again, about a 9-mile-per-hour wind in his face. It seems to have died down a bit at the moment from 49. Gonna get there, and good. So Sean Sweezer and the Steelers come up with an opening field goal drive and lead 3-0. ESPN's Monday Night Football brought to you by GMC. Enter the Never Say Never sweepstakes for a chance to win a 2015 GMC vehicle at gmc.com/NFL. And Navy Federal, serving the armed forces and their families right along the Cumberland River, Nashville, Tennessee. And our coverage from Spider Cam tonight is brought to you by DirecTV. Two and 7 Titans, but their first win, their opening week win, was at Kansas City, at Arrowhead. They beat the Chiefs. They have pulled off a big victory this season, trying to do it again. Bishop Sankey, part of the young crew that they have turned this team over to. And he's back to receive the kickoff from Sweezer. Line drive, it'll stay inbounds. It does go through the end zone inside the pylon and then out of bounds. And there's no return and a touchback. And the Titans take over at the 20. John gave you some of the details earlier. Pick number 178 in the draft last year. Zach Mettenberger out of LSU. Had a good record in the SEC West with LSU. And then in his final regular season game for his ACL, thus missed the Outback Bowl. Couldn't really prepare properly for the draft. That and other issues push him back to the 6th round. Here he is making his 3rd NFL start, looking for his first win tonight. First down, pressure picked up. He has a big arm, and he threw it to William Gay. Pick 6, out of the gate, touchdown Steelers.
William Gay does it again. He did it to Andrew Luck a couple weeks ago. And when you throw an outside breaking route in the NFL, you must be exact. Justin Hunter slips coming out of the break, does not run a good route. You'll see it on the left side of your screen. And Mettenberger misses the throw to the inside. Steelers blitz on the first play of the game, and that is Ken Wisenhunt's worst nightmare. A poor route, a poor throw, and a disaster in Nashville.
As you said, the Indianapolis score, that big Steeler win, that is the 2nd interception return for touchdown by William Gay this year. Extra point added by Sweezer. For the 100th time in Steelers history, it's a pick 6. It's William Gay. It's 10-0 Pittsburgh. 73 passes in 2 games plus a bit. 3 interceptions. This is the 4th.
A lot of rookies involved. I thought Sankey didn't do a very good job picking up Timmons on the blitz. Ball's thrown poorly to the inside, and Hunter slipped coming out of the break. When you throw an outside breaking route, you're throwing it on time with exact location. Second-year receiver, rookie quarterback, and rookie tailback. Not very good.
And then waiting to make him pay was the man who has the longest streak of active cornerbacks in playing. William Gay playing his 123rd consecutive game. That makes it 10-0. And another kickoff here, back-to-back. This one fielded by Jackie Battle, the fullback for the Titans. And he takes it out to the 32-yard line. Makes Williams the tackle. So Mettenberger started at Georgia, was dismissed from the team, involved in 2 misdemeanor sexual battery charges. Then he went to Butler Community College. 11-1 as a starter there, came back to the SEC. We mentioned the success at LSU and then the torn ACL in that final game that he played. Ended up being picked about 5 months after his surgery, 6th in the draft, and Ken Whisenhunt turned to him as his 3rd starting quarterback this year for the game against the Texans. Then he started at Baltimore, and now against Pittsburgh at home here tonight. Bishop Sankey, running back out of Washington, goes left, gets to the 36-yard line. I mentioned right as he threw the pick, John, his biggest strength is his arm. Good, strong arm.
No question, and Pittsburgh respects his arm talent, but he's got to play mentally faster, and he's got to play physically quicker in the pocket, especially against a defense like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look for mental and physical quickness in the pocket. That's where he needs to make his greatest improvement.
Titans will rotate through multiple backs. Dexter McCluster, the former Chief, is there. High snap pulled down by Mettenberger, and he completes it to Kendall Wright. Working through space with a flag down, he gets pulled down shy of midfield.
A little face mask there, Mike.
We'll add to it. 15. Brad Allen is our referee tonight.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask. Defense, number 25. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Good call. Kendall Wright had over 1,000 yards last year. He leads the Titans this year. They need a big night from Kendall Wright. Titans missing Delaney Walker, Mike. He's their most important inside receiver, and Wright's going to need to play great tonight.
Second and catches is Walker with 38. He's out of the lineup. Sankey to the right. It's bumped from behind by James Harrison, a gain of about 3 yards. Some of the Titans up front, they have highly drafted players, a first rounder of this year, Taylor Lewan. Chance Warmack was their first rounder a year ago. Michael Orr was Baltimore's first rounder a few years back. And we mentioned the receiving core, the former Steeler Nate Washington, dying to have a big game against his old team. Hunter, Wright, Sankey already heard from. And Chase Kaufman, not much of a receiving threat, is the man replacing Delaney Walker in the line.
Titans are late getting out of the huddle. Better hurry against this defense led by Dick LeBeau.
2nd and 7. There's time for Mettenberger. He looks downfield, and breaking open is Wright, who hangs on to it inside the 10. First and goal for the Titans.
Play action pass. They run a deep cross. Justin Hunter cleared it out. Kendall Wright coming from left to right. Wide open. Good blitz pick up by this Tennessee Titan offensive line. First and goal.
Good work by Brian Schwanke, the center, working in combination with Sankey, the running back. And their leading pass catcher, Wright, has them on the move. Inside the 9. This time Sankey to the right. Still going. And Sankey scores.
That is quite a run by Bishop Sankey. The Tennessee Titans pull a page out of the Cleveland Browns playbook. The Browns hurt the Steelers running this outside zone stretch running play from a quick count. But watch Sankey come right off your left side. He disappears. He cuts it back, and Pittsburgh never saw him. That's an outstanding job by Ken Whisenhunt, this Titan coaching staff.
And there's Taylor Lewan finishing to make sure that he got it. He tackled his own guy. I'll give you a touchdown celebratory hug as I push you over the goal line.
That'll quiet these Steeler fans.
Funny you say that, right? Here in Tennessee. That's a pretty good responding drive after that big mistake on the very first snap by the rookie Mettenberger. Ryan Suckup out of the hold of Brett Kern. All right, it's cold. Good start, though. 17 points in half a quarter. And for the second time in his rookie season, Bishop Sankey runs it in. Next Monday night, we'll continue to see this battle in the AFC North. Baltimore right in the middle of that. They were off last week in New Orleans, and we all said, oh, the Saints have 3 straight home games. That will right the ship. They lost the first 2. How will they do against the Ravens? Monday night, 8:15 Eastern. We'll see you from the Superdome. It was after the touchdown. Ken Whisenhunt talking with Zach Mettenberger. Intercepted in that first play, but bouncing back. Good completions of 14 and 23 yards. Confidence of a rookie quarterback, so important. Marcus Wheaton from 5 deep. Trying to bounce this to the outside. Titans are looking for a hole. They're going to get it. Derek Hagan, number 80, was held on the play, so the Steelers will start deep in their own territory.
During the return, holding for 82, the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
We just showed you Ken Whisenhunt. The man he replaced is back in the stadium tonight. Mike Munchak, Hall of Fame guard, 32 years with this organization. The Titans, who of course were the Houston Oilers before that. 22 and 26 as the head coach in 3 years in Tennessee. He had another year on his deal, was hoping to stay, but management wanted to make a bunch of staff changes that Munchak was not comfortable with. So they hire Whisenhunt, and Munchak is now hooked on as the Steelers' offensive line coach. And the Hall of Famer is rounding this group into good shape here in the middle of November. First pass by Roethlisberger. On the edge, it's Martavis Bryant. Tackled by Cody Sensabaugh after a short game.
Martavis Bryant came in here averaging over 22 yards a catch. He's picking up this Pittsburgh Steeler playbook. They're asking him to do more and more. Mike Tomlin tried to say, hold on here. He's not ready for the Pro Bowl yet. They're expecting more from him as the season unfolds. And the Titans continue to blitz Ben Roethlisberger. Here they are up in his face again.
Spaeth comes down to protect Roethlisberger, goes over the top, and open it's Heath Miller for the first down across the 30 as George Wilson brings him down at the 32-yard line.
He's a Steeler favorite. Play action pass, and Heath Miller right down the seam. You run Le'Veon Bell every play in the opening possession, and you fake it to Bell, and you forget Heath Miller has over 500 catches as a Pittsburgh Steeler. First down.
The 32, Miller comes to block, but Le'Veon Bell is brought down by Jurrell Casey, captain of this defense. Described by one of the Titans coaches as a really good athlete, not the best athletic body.
Well, he had 10.5 sacks last year. He is a one-gap penetrator, has really flourished in a 4-3 defense. But now, with the new defensive system in place, he's trying to play in a 3-4 scheme. What he has proven is it doesn't matter what defense he plays in. That kid can play.
4 tackles in the first 9 Steeler plays tonight. Second and 10, more pressure. Picked up for the moment for Roethlisberger. Eludes the hit, throws sideline, and it is caught by Bryant. 2-yard shy of the first down.
What a throw. I don't know how Roethlisberger pulls this off. He makes more completions after being contacted in the pocket. Just watch this. He's going to drop back the pass. The blitz is on. He pushes up in the pocket, and he throws a bullet. The only place that ball could have been thrown. That ball is always in a throwing position, and he can unload it accurately.
Great angle there. Still need 2 for the first down. Right, it's low, but it's caught for the first down by Antonio Brown. John, you mentioned when he gets hit, he still is so good. Let's show you the numbers this year. Always good in these categories. Completion percentage after being hit by a player, 80%. Double almost what the league does. Passing yards per pass, double. 6 touchdowns, no picks. Usually guys get hit, they end up throwing picks. And the passer rating's 158. To give you a scale on the passer rating, that's almost the maximum passer rating. If the passer rating's on the FM dial, and it's between 90 and 108, that's really good. If it's higher, it's almost off the charts. And Ben is. He's over the middle here. It's Miller again at the 33-yard line. Another big completion. This one's 22 yards.
Well, Heath Miller comes out of his stance, widens at the top of his route. He's so friendly to the quarterback. Watch this route. He's going to push straight up the field, bend it to the outside. He creates separation, and Roethlisberger read it perfectly. You nod to the outside, Mike. You keep yourself away from the free safety, and you avoid that hit. Miller knows how to play tight end.
Darius Hayward-Bay is in for Pittsburgh. Raider first rounder. Bell runs to the right. Le'Veon Bell lowers his shoulders and gets the first down near the 22-yard line.
And here comes some big defensive linemen for the Tennessee Titans. 92, 99, Sammy Hill 94. They need some reinforcements. This is an undersized Tennessee Titan defensive line. They've been playing a 4-3 for a long time here. And they're trying to get to a 3-4 defense, and they have struggled stopping the run, and Pittsburgh knows it.
Ray Horton's the defensive coordinator here. Protege of Dick LeBeau's, played for him, coached with him. Was in Cleveland last as the defensive coordinator. Bell patiently waits to the right. That time he is stopped on the edge. Avery Williamson along there with Wesley Woodyard. You pointed out the size of the defensive lineman. That's why so often a transition from a 4-3 to the 3-4 takes a couple of years personnel-wise.
Certainly does, and you have to credit Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator, in the job that he's done. And the way he stopped the run is by blitzing. Tennessee is blitzing more than they've blitzed in recent years, and that's one way that you gang up on the run. But when you do that, you isolate your corners in one-on-one coverage. Good luck against the Steeler outfit.
The other show of the blitz there is the rookie Williamson knocking on the door. And coming. And Roethlisberger takes the shot, and open is Bryant. Couldn't pull that touchdown in. Bleedy Ray Wilson arrives at the last second.
Ben was late with the ball, didn't get much on it, but that's a double move. They're trying to sell a bubble screen. Bryant made it look like he was blocking. He has wide open real estate. Ben just didn't get anything on the throw. Bleedy Ray Wilson was beat badly. Made a nice recovery, 3rd and 9.
Got lucky too. He didn't have a chance to look back for the ball. His hand just got between the arms of the receiver. 3rd and 9. Here comes the pressure. Roethlisberger fires Brown. Puts the feet down inbounds. 1st and goal. Pittsburgh at the 6.
That's a great throw. Timing. We saw Mettenberger miss an outside breaking route on the first play of the game. That time Ben Roethlisberger, 3 steps, no hitch. Ball thrown with perfect timing and location. And it sets up a 1st and goal just outside the 5. Those two are like clockwork. Nobody doing it better right now at quarterback and receiver than Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown.
See the numbers after that 14-yard completion for Big Ben in the opening quarter. Drive that started back at their own 10. Bell gets a yard. And Avery Williamson.
The Steeler running game is unbelievable. Todd Haley has all kind of plays on that sheet. That time he ran a zone read, the play you're seeing these college quarterbacks run. There are a lot of different types of runs. That's why Roethlisberger has a wristband that goes all the way up his forearm. There are a lot of formations and different kinds of plays to get these skill players involved.
Both teams bottom quarter of the league in the red zone. Lance Moore is checked in. Heath Miller is at the bottom of the screen. The running back Bell's in the slot. Titans are chasing him. And it's incomplete. A little bit of confusion there as Bell and Ben were trying to get on the same page.
Well, the Titans were confused. Bleedy Ray Wilson came over late to cover Le'Veon Bell. There's a lot of different alignments that both of these defenses present, and they come off the same tree, Mike. Roethlisberger prepared for this game by going up against his own defense, because that's where Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator of the Titans, comes from.
Play 13 of the drive. Roethlisberger out quick. Fort Bryant wrapped up in coverage by Bleedy Ray Wilson. No flag, fourth down.
Bleedy Ray Wilson has had 10 penalties this year. I think he's had 6 PIs. Pass interference calls, and I think that's a good no call there. Bleedy Ray Wilson with back-to-back red zone plays, and that sets up Sweezum again.
It's from 49, now from 23. The distance he missed from last week. Gets that one through. Field goals here for the Steelers on their drives. The pick six. They are up by 6. With them, the Steelers' consecutive 8-8 seasons. They have missed the playoffs the last 2 years, trying to change that around this year, but in part because of the divisions they're matched up against, the weak divisions in the AFC South and North. The AFC North has had success. Everybody's over 500. 3 teams at 6-4, trailing the Bengals, who got the win in New Orleans yesterday. That's 6-3-1. That tie might prove to be beneficial as we go down the stretch in terms of having that half-game edge on the other 3 in this division. 5th kickoff of this opening quarter. Again, keeping it on the ground to keep it away from folks. It is Carl Klug with the return, just shy of the 40-yard line for the Titans. Second time Klug has returned one. Pushing and shoving going on. Players between the Titans and the Steelers. And they separate without a flag being thrown. 3rd drive for Mettenberger in a moment. Oldies but goodies. Brett Kiesel back there, 36 years old. James Harrison, 36 years old. The Steeler defense continues to play without 2 other veterans. Ike Taylor, the forearm injury. Troy Polamalu missing another game with a knee injury. The only defense in the league that has 4 players 33 or over. 2 of them missing tonight. They're being tested by the rookie Sankey, who gains 9 on that run job.
When you don't have a quarterback that can move around, you blitz him right up the middle on the first play of the game. Lawrence Timmons, James Harrison blitz together, they cause an interception. Then on the next series, they blitz 2 linebackers on a cross dog. It was a 5-man protection. Mettenberger beat the blitz. Then it's another cross dog, and Bishop Sankey, number 20, sticks his face in there with center Brian Schwanke, and they rip the Steelers with a big play. Expect more blitzes tonight.
Sean Green is the running back. They bring in an extra offensive lineman, and Green powers it into Steeler territory for the first down at the 48-yard line for the former New York Jet. 5 drives, nobody punted. Exciting first quarter in Tennessee. Steelers lead 13-7 on Monday Night Football.
ESPN celebrating 45 years of Monday Night Football.
Being fired in Arizona, Ken Wisenhunt was the offensive coordinator with the Chargers. Meant he had Philip Rivers to work with last year, John. Talk about Rivers and Mettenberger and some similarities, perhaps.
Well, Rivers has incredible quickness in the pocket. Awkward releases. Clock in his head. He might not be the fastest quarterback, but Rivers is quick, and that's what Mettenberger has to get better at. You can see the difference. He's got to get quicker in the pocket. Quicken his release. They tried to shorten his base a little bit. They're trying to get him acclimated to the NFL speed, and the only way to do that is to go out and play. And expect Mettenberger to get better and better the more he does play, but he's going against the Steelers, and they're going to continue to challenge him with blitzes.
Second quarter begins. Steelers leading 13-7. From the 48 of Pittsburgh, Mettenberger fires right, and it is brought in. Yes, it is a catch for Dexter McCluster. 17-yard gain.
Nice job by Michael Orr at right tackle. And you have to do a great job as a quarterback in this league, keeping your eyes downfield, pushing forward in the pocket with 2 hands on the ball. And that time, Mettenberger throws a strike to McCluster, a man that they are trying to find a role for, the ex-Kansas City Chief.
First 4 years in Kansas City really gave a lot of energy, special teams. And from scrimmage, Sean Green in again with the extra offensive lineman, and he runs to the right and only gains a yard as Lawrence Timmons is able to bring him down. We talked about the Steelers and who's playing tonight. One of the reasons they've been struggling a bit on the run, no Steve McClendon on the nose, the rookie out of Tennessee, Daniel McCullers, making his first NFL start. Sean Spence and Vince Williams are sharing inside linebacker spot time with Timmons in the continued absence of Ryan Shazier. And again, no Ike Taylor, no Polamalu. Gay was the pick 6. Back there in the secondary. There is Polamalu. They played almost every snap for a year and a half until that knee injury came up the last couple of games. Pass back to Kendall Wright. Got a block. Has great speed. Right inside the 10. Kept the play alive, and he's down at the 6. Another first down for Kendall Wright.
That's great ball handling. They've been running the stretch play. Sankey scored earlier on the play. They sell it, and watch Taylor Lewan act like he's cutting off the backside, and he leads the screen out on the perimeter. Beautifully executed, and Kendall Wright can hurt you after the catch.
Good blocks all the way downfield as well with Justin Hunter.
I like the athleticism of Taylor Lewan, the left tackle, the former Michigan Wolverine.
Titans trying to take the lead. McCluster is now the back. Mettenberger blitz, got rid of it. McCluster couldn't reel it in.
Well, we just talked about speeding up the process. After a big play, you better assume the blitz is coming. That time, if Mettenberger is a little quicker with the ball, he might see McCluster coming out of his backfield on this hot route. That should be a touchdown.
And that's what we're talking about. His mobility is not there. And he's a young quarterback, so he's going to get pressure. He's going to be on that spot a lot. They know where he is. He's got a great arm, and that's what he needs to thrive with and be quick with to succeed in the league as a 6th-round quarterback. McCluster gets it down near the 2-yard line. Really trying to get McCluster involved a lot against Dick LeBeau's blitzing defense, trying to get that speed out in a one-on-one matchup here tonight.
I want to see this offensive line live up to their billing. They have a lot of resources in this line. Lewan's a high #1. Warmack at right guard, a high #1 draft choice. They brought in Levitri, the left guard from Buffalo, Michael Orr, the ex-Baltimore Raven. I'd like to see him run the ball behind them.
And it's Sankey. He lost his footing as he was trying to get to the line of scrimmage. Mike Mitchell and Will Allen come to get him, and it will be 4th down.
I think the quarterback needs to see the all-out blitz. The Titans are outnumbered. There's not much they can do to block Mike Mitchell.
And you saw he just tripped right over Mettenberger's foot. Mettenberger's right foot, Sankey's clip each other. The running back goes down. Don't know if he would have gotten there anyway because of that blitz, like you said. Here comes Succop for the field goal. Extra point-sized field goal for the former Chiefs kicker, Ryan Succop. And from 20 yards, it's a 3-point game. Ken Whisenhunt trying to find something that'll get this Titans franchise going once again, trying to start building, trying to do that with Zach Mettenberger. Here's the play at the end of this drive.
Well, the Steelers outnumber them here, and they're releasing Taylor Lewan on some kind of quick screen, but Mettenberger needs to take a timeout. They need a different play at the 2-yard line. Some of these spread runs are a beautiful thing when the defense plays zone, but when they all out blitz you, those are dead plays. Wisenhunt can't be happy with that one there.
Are those the growing pains of a quarterback in his third start who doesn't know down there, like a Brady or a Manning or a Rivers, going to check to something that obviously is going to work against this front?
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah. And sometimes you can't get too cute and ask him to do too much. That hurts at the 2-yard line.
Ryan Suckup with the kickoff on this cool night. Cold, forget cool. Marcus Wheaton across the 20. Brought down shy of the 25-yard line. Well, last week it was a blender. There's no chop meat here. You're not going to make actual burgers, but we've got a battle of the burgers here tonight.
This is the Burger Bowl, but look at Roethlisberger. He's got playmaking skills. He's got body type. He's got a lot of experience on his burger. Precision, supporting cast. And Mettenberger, he's got arm talent on his burger. He needs to get some more fixings on there. He's in the process of doing that as a young quarterback, but clearly Ben Roethlisberger is 17-0 against rookie quarterbacks for a reason.
Brent Musburger could be here tonight and just kind of
be
the appropriate person to be here for the battle of the burgers. Mettenberger and Roethlisberger, two quarterbacks who both are 6'5", both wear number 7. First down, Ben. Crossing toss is broken up. Good job by Michael Griffin, the safety, as that was waiting in the air, and he came over to get Antonio Brown.
That is a great range play by Michael Griffin, the longest tenured Tennessee Titan. He's playing free safety, and he's going to come out of the middle and drive this deep cross. He sees it all the way. His eyes are right on Ben Roethlisberger. He read the route perfectly and timed it just right.
And for the Steeler fans who got there a hair early, and they have reason to complain about that. That bump, as you saw by the replay, just a hair before the ball got there. But Griffin got away with it. Second down, and Bell trying to pick space, and he's brought down by the other safety, George Wilson, once an undrafted wide receiver with Detroit, made his name as a special team performer in Buffalo. Now the starting safety because of Bernard Pollard's Tennessee injury.
Comes right off your left side on a strong safety blitz, and he chases this play down on the backside. Third down and 11. Watch the movement from this Tennessee defense. They try to disguise their coverage and their blitzes throughout the down.
No running back for the Steelers. Titans rush 3, drop 8, giving Roethlisberger a ton of time, and he's finally brought down. Players were finally coming open downfield, but Ben didn't have enough time, and Quentin Groves with the sack.
Well, the Titans got lucky. Gree Archer at the bottom of the screen, number 13, is going to be wide open coming on this little wheel route at the bottom of the screen. Ben never saw him. 3-man rush, and Tennessee dodged a bullet. Usually Big Ben sees that.
First sack for the former Jacksonville Jaguar, Groves. 9th of his career. First punt of the evening, either team, from the Aussie Brad Wayne. Cluster going to run up to get it at the 47 and gain only 2 on the return. Vince Williams, the linebacker, with the stop. Kick was 38. Good field position for the Titans. The defense stops Pittsburgh for the first time. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Lexus, introducing the first ever 306 horsepower RC Coupe from Lexus. And NFLshop.com, find the largest selection of NFL products at the official store of the NFL. Let's enjoy some of the music in one of the 200 recording studios in this mecca for emerging artists from around the world, for $1 billion in record sales annually. From the tunes cranked out to those studios around Music City, Nashville. Mettenberger takes over, just shy of his own 50, and it's knocked down by Kiesel. Good job by Brett Kiesel. Get a hand up and knock it down.
Keep an eye on this matchup on the left side. Taylor Lewan, the rookie out of Michigan, against the veteran James Harrison. That time Harrison used the bull rush, and Lewan showed some anchor. But that'll be a matchup throughout the night, especially on these 2nd and long and 3rd and long situations. Lewan against the shorter James Harrison. He's going to have to bend his knees tonight.
Pass to McCluster, the back. Jackie Battle erased. Sean Spence comes up to make the play.
Sean Spence splitting time with Vince Williams at inside linebacker. Read the screen perfectly. And makes an impact tackle. Watch left guard Andy Levitre, number 67. Got to get there quicker. Perhaps Battle got too wide too fast, but you see the anchor of Taylor Lewan. Got to be careful with those hands.
James Harrison was pointing out to the umpires located back behind the quarterback on that side that it should have been hands to the face. 3rd and 15, Leon Washington, former Jet, in there with McCluster. Burger's pass over the middle is going to be 3 shy of the first down as Justin Hunter able to catch it. They're going to mark him just inside the 45. And they've got to get to the 42 for the first down.
Quick looky slant by the slot receiver, and Mettenberger shows not only a strong arm but a quick release. That's a nice job by Mitchell, number 23, knowing where the stakes were and making the tackle short of the first down.
Antonio Brown back to receive. 120-plus yard return. Brown this year, Brett Kern try to make it an unreturnable kick, and Brown makes the fair catch at his own 13-yard line. So game settles in as the teams exchange punts halfway through the second quarter. Steelers lead by 3 in the face of the franchise. Back on the field when we come back. Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters on a cold November night in Nashville. Coldest temperature at the start of a game since the Titans have been here in Nashville. Drive 4 for the Steelers. Roethlisberger continues to be pressured. Heath Miller hit in the open field by Michael Griffin. Short game.
It's an all-out blitz again, backed up on the 10-yard line. Ray Horton brings everybody, and out of nowhere comes Michael Griffin to make a beautiful open field tackle.
At some point, blitzing Roethlisberger and the speedy catch-and-run guys from Pittsburgh, isn't this dangerous?
It is dangerous, but they've had success doing it. They brought it against Joe Flacco a number of times last week.
Number 15, Roethlisberger out of the pocket on the run. Antonio's got it. Brown take it out of bounds for the first down.
Beautiful over route on the backside of the bootleg. Fooled the linebackers with the fake, and Antonio Brown mirrors the quarterback perfectly. Fumbled twice last week against the Jets, uncharacteristically, and you expect Antonio Brown to make the correction.
Leads the league in receptions, closing back in on retaking his receiving yardage mark here tonight. He needs 36 yards to jump back on top. On the swing out, Dre Archer able to get it back, gets a catch and a loss of yardage, almost dangerously turned into a turnover as Damian Stafford was closing in on the rookie Archer out of Kent State.
Dre Archer was hiding behind Ben Roethlisberger in the pistol. I'm surprised Stafford even saw him. He's about 5'4". He's hiding behind Roethlisberger in the pistol. He runs a wide flare to the right. He doesn't handle it cleanly. And the ex-Cornhusker from Nebraska rocks Dre Archer.
He's a little taller than 5'4".
Is he?
He's about 5'8", maybe 5'7". 2nd and 15. Twisting 3-man rush. Roethlisberger waits for it to sort downfield and throws it complete to Brown. Pulled down at the 30-yard line. They'll give him 6 shy of the first down. And the Titans defense, that must feel like forever trying to hang with those Steeler receivers.
Well, they're rushing 3. They use a crazy stunt, but they end up rushing 3 Tennessee Titans. They have 8 men in coverage, and they all have their eyes on Ben Roethlisberger and these 5 Steeler receivers. Great job plastering to their man in coverage, and it sets up 3rd down and 6.
So 5 now for Brown, 26 in a row. NFL best with 5 receptions or more in a game. Now they bring the pressure again. And play was stopped here on the side by the head linesman for a false start.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. 4 down.
Marcus Gilbert, the right tackle. John, every time we go do a Steelers game, if we watch the other team practice, you hear during the plaster, plaster,
Yeah.
plaster. And it must feel like forever for those guys trying to hang as Roethlisberger just sheds blockers and waits for somebody to get open.
No doubt. And Tennessee's done a great job mixing it up. They've rushed 3 and dropped 8. They've rushed 7 and played all-out blitz coverage. Looks like pressure again.
Third and 11. Or pressuring. Roethlisberger throws, and again it's Brown on the sideline. What a pleasure to watch two players on the same page and on time and on target over and over.
I thought McCourty had him in coverage underneath with help from Stafford over the top. They're playing man-to-man underneath. They have him doubled, and it doesn't matter. Brown can run any route you can think of from any formation. He can beat any defender, and he just proved to you he can beat any coverage. That's why he leads pro football with over 80 catches.
27 in a row. Bell to the left, bounced it outside. It's a very good job with not much there for Le'Veon Bell to get it out just shy of midfield as we dip under 4 minutes in this first half.
Oh, these outside runs against these inside blitzes that the Titans are calling have had some success. I am stunned at the amount of blitzing that I have seen from the Titans defense in the last month of this season. Sooner or later, you have to think they're going to take a shot deep against one-on-one coverage.
Bell with space into Titan territory, pulled out of the 43 by Wesley Woodyard, and a first down for Le'Veon Bell.
Don't forget Pouncey, the center, is a first-round draft choice. DeCastro is a first-round draft choice. Gilbert, number 77, is a second-round draft choice. Slam the ball right off that right side and expect results. Well done.
Bell had been limited 56 yards rushing in the prior 2 games. He has 66 in the first half tonight. They will add about 2 or 3 more.
Well, his Tennessee Titan defense is being led by a rookie, Mike, number 54, Avery Williamson. You don't find a rookie linebacker often that calls the signals for a defense. He's a mid-round draft choice from Kentucky. And he's got a lot on his plate, setting the front, communicating with coverages, and giving his fellow defenders some alerts.
LeGarrette Blount comes in the game. We get close to the 2-minute warning. This playoff just in time. Roethlisberger loses the sack, holds on to the ball, but now gets brought down right around the 40-yard line. Derek Morgan, former first-round pick out of Georgia Tech, brings Ben down. Loss of a yard. It's a sack, and it's the 2-minute warning at 1:55 here in Nashville. 65th time the Steelers appear on Monday Night Football. Only San Francisco and Dallas have more Monday night wins. Steelers offense limited to 6 points. They have the pick 6 by William Gay on the Titans' first drive. The reason they're up 3 with a minute 55 left until halftime. This is 3rd and 8, and out of his hands quick to Antonio Brown. McCourty pulls him down at the line. It's going to be a first down inside the 32.
Well, you saw Roethlisberger raise his 2 hands. He killed one play with another. He sees the blitz coming. Roethlisberger changes the protection to a quick throw, slant pattern to the right side, and Antonio Brown beats McCourty.
You getting a sense that they're starting to feel the ways they can beat this pressure from Tennessee?
Start maxing the protection, throwing it quick, and work Antonio Brown in these one-on-one isolations.
31. Play action. Pocket collapses. Roethlisberger to Heath Miller at the 20. Gain of 11 first down. 1:05 to go.
Roethlisberger is one tough customer, standing in the pocket, bodies flying around him, and that 6'5" length of Ben Roethlisberger can see over the trees, and he throws another accurate pass to Heath Miller.
Timeout taken by the Steelers here with 1:05 to go. And Pittsburgh has it at the Tennessee 20. Chris Berman coming up with the Toyota halftime. Among the stories they'll be covering, it's Adam and Mort with the insider notes. There's been a lot of movement throughout the day, and especially over the last couple of hours on the Adrian Peterson story. Mort's been all over that, so they'll have that. And everything else that's happened in sports you'll hear today on SportsCenter. Coming up on Toyota halftime. Steelers still have 2 timeouts left, 1:05. And a 3-point Pittsburgh lead. From the 20, Roethlisberger to the end zone. Broken up, trying to get it to Martavis Bryant. And Bleedy Ray Wilson has had one of the better first halves he's had in a while.
They love throwing these double post patterns in the red zone. They clear out the safety 39 with another receiver, and Bryant's got to catch his football. Hit him right in the chest. And maybe Bleedy Ray got a piece of that, Mike. My mistake. Nice play. That's the 3rd time Bleedy Ray has broken up a pass in the red zone.
Final minute. And they'll go back to the run with Bell. And we see there and waiting. As we said, the Steelers have timeouts to use, and Mike Tomlin will take one with 52 seconds left. 3rd down coming up. We'll be right back. 10 games, average of 6 points per game the Steelers get in the last 2 minutes of the first or second half. Tops in the league. We'll see how they do here. Needing to get to the 10 to keep the drive alive. Look out for Antonio Brown. Top. Ben's looking that way. Pumping that way. Throws it. It's intercepted. And McCourty will just take it and take the touchback.
That's an uncharacteristic bad decision by Ben Roethlisberger. Blitz comes off his left side. Le'Veon Bell picked it up. But sometimes there's nowhere to go with the football, and you got to throw it away and kick the field goal. Great blitz pickup off the left side. Griffin against Bell. But I didn't see anybody open, and there's nothing wrong with throwing the ball away and coming away with points. Turnovers have doomed the Steelers in some games that they should have won this year. Everybody talks about them losing last week to the Jets. They lost to Tampa, 2 games they probably should have won, but turnovers did them in those games, and those are the kind of plays that cause you to lose.
Yeah, Bryant breaks towards the middle there. Roethlisberger makes the throw that's intercepted. Steelers have 1 timeout left, 44 seconds, and the Titans are a little unorganized there. They have to burn a timeout. Interesting, last night you saw Brady make a late first half mistake going in for what looked to be a score, very uncommon. Similar story here, although Brady was under more duress last night than Roethlisberger was here. But that interception ends a 70-yard drive with no points. Tennessee gets the ball to start the second half. Curious to see them do anything but take a knee, let the Steelers burn a timeout and get to halftime. From the 20, Mettenberger, who's already thrown a pick six. Oh, takes a shot downfield, and Nate Washington, the former Steeler, is going to score a touchdown. Take that!
Double move. William Gay, who intercepted a pass on the first play of the game, jumped the square out. Ken Wisenhunt tells his young quarterback, let's go get him with a double move. Pass protection held up, and they double move William Gay beautifully.
I just remember John Madden in the Super Bowl when Brady let him down the field. So that's a young quarterback. You just take a knee and take your chances. No, attack and go. That's exactly what Whisenhunt did when everything pointed to just get out of here within 3. And instead they'll likely get out of here with a lead at halftime. And look at how fired up the 6th-round rookie Mettenberger is.
Well, you get into a bunch formation, you show something for a couple of weeks, and then you tell Nate Washington, run a little hook and go against number 22, William Gay. And Gay saw this route combination on tape. I'm sure he thought Washington was going to run a hook pattern. And Tennessee runs a double move, and they smoke Pittsburgh. He points out the Mike linebacker. He tells the center to go right, handle Timmons in case he blitzes. He shows some veteran poise, standing in there under fire, and he throws a perfect pass for 6. Nate Washington had almost 1,000 yards last year receiving for the Titans. Has disappeared a little bit, but that kid can play, and there's nothing like beating your former teammates.
He was so excited to play against this team and show the folks in Pittsburgh what a great job they did in building up his career. And Roethlisberger sits there and watches Mettenberger come up with the big play of 80 yards to give Tennessee a 4-point lead with 32 seconds left until halftime. With the Marcus Wheaton taking it from the 2. Wheaton trying to get to the edge. And he'll be stopped shy of the 20. Lisa Salters, you know Washington was focused on this night for that reason right there.
Absolutely, Mike. I was talking to him this weekend, and he was telling me how grateful he will always be to the Steelers for taking a chance on him back in 2005. He was an undrafted free agent coming out of a very tiny university in Ohio. And he said, when I do something right, I'm proving that the Steelers were right. He said, if I get a chance to make a couple of plays tonight, hopefully the Roonies inside, they'll smile and think, that's my boy. I don't know if they were smiling on that one, Mike.
No, probably not the way it went down, no. But the point well taken. The success that Washington has built out of his career. Steelers with 1 timeout left. And Roethlisberger going to try to take one back. And it's incomplete.
Pittsburgh Steelers had a 10-0 lead. You have to credit Mettenberger with a drive to make it a 10-7 game. The young man has hung in here, and this Titan defense has called a lot of different fronts, blitzes, and coverages, and they have fooled Pittsburgh on occasion in this first half.
Second and 10, look at Casey, up collapse the pocket, and Phillips joins Groves on the sack. Sean Phillips able to get in there and help make the play that will bring the first half to an end. Stunning first half here in Nashville. A big play at the end of the first half, much like we saw in the San Francisco-St. Louis game. Changes the tone a bit. Toward the halftime now, here's Chris Berman. Surprise in that first half, Zach Mettenberger. His first pass of the half was taken the other way by William Gay for a pick 6. Meantime, Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers did convert a few of their big spots. And here we are, shockingly 17-13 Tennessee against the Steelers as we get set for the third quarter with John Gruden, Lisa Salters, Mike Tirico. Our Zales extraordinary moments. Let's talk about the moments when the Steelers were getting close but couldn't pay it off.
Well, they had Martavis Bryant on a double move open. Ben didn't get anything on the throw, and Bleedy Ray Wilson broke it up at the last second. Then he tried a back shoulder fade to Le'Veon Bell. There's Bleedy Ray Wilson again. Then it's a high point fade to Martavis Bryant again. Guess who's covering that one? And then Roethlisberger made a bad decision off his back foot. Red zone interception by Jason McCourty. And shortly after that, Mettenberger threw a bomb to put the Titans on top. Steelers are in trouble, Mike. They continue to struggle on the road. Doesn't matter who they play.
And the red zone struggles, as we said, bottom quarter of the league, and 0 for 2 thus far tonight in terms of converting them into touchdowns. And Tennessee gets the ball to start the third quarter. 2-win Titan team. We mentioned week 1. They went to Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs 26-10. Their only other win was against Jacksonville. The Jaguars drove down the field late and then a field goal attempt to win the game. And they beat the Steelers here on Monday night. Kickoff to Bishop Sankey. From a yard deep, he'll bring it out. And just get over the 20-yard line. Here's Lisa Salters.
Yes, Mike, I asked Ken Wisenhunt what he thought about his young quarterback, and he said, I like the way he responded from a tough start. He said there's nothing worse than to come out on Monday Night Football and to have your first play be a pick six, but he responded well. He made some good plays, and it's good to see that. About that play to Nate Washington, I asked him, what did you see from the Steelers that made you believe that it would work? And he said it was a formation read, and based on what they'd done before, we thought they were going to jump the curl, and they did, and the play worked. Mike Tomlin said, obviously, we situationally have to be better, but it was just one play. We've got to move forward. Mike?
All right, Lisa, the bookend plays of that half really tell the tales. Tennessee up 4. They have the ball, and Sankey, good patience as the rookie out of Washington gets near the 27-yard line. Let's look at Mettenberger's first half.
Well, Lisa just said it. It's a terrible way to start the game. Throwing an interception, it's run back for a touchdown. Poor location, poor route, poor results. Then he throws a deep cross. Down 10-0. They come back and answer to make it 10-7. And right before the half, he stands in there under fire and throws a beautiful 80-yard bomb to Nate Washington. And here we are.
Sankey is 2nd and 4 carry. He's been good after contact. Gets within a yard and a half of the first down, just shy of the 30-yard line. John, when we look at Mettenberger and his success here, obviously he played at LSU, so he played in big games and big situations, as big as you can to prepare for the NFL. But what I thought was interesting was last year, Cam Cameron was the offensive coordinator at LSU, and Mettenberger was essentially done with his academic requirements, had one class. So in the morning, he would get done with that class and spend most of the day at the facility. It gave him a chance to understand how to prepare as a quarterback, which he's doing now here in the NFL with the Titans. 3rd and 2. McCluster releases out in the backfield, and that pass is incomplete as he was about to get hit by Brett Kiesel, and Cam Thomas just got rid of it to avoid the sack.
It's Brett Kiesel, 36 years old, is finding his stride here again, and Mettenberger might be hurt, Mike. Kiesel playing right defensive tackle on a stunt. Beats Schwanke, the center, badly. He and Cam Thomas punish Mettenberger. Zach looked like he hurt his groin. Keep an eye on that on the sideline.
Kern to punch it away for Tennessee. Antonio Brown just outside the 20, picking up blockers. Brown at the 40. Almost pulled down, but a flag comes down to the back end. At midfield, Marqueston Huff was hanging on for dear life there as he chased Brown, who was a step away from going a long way. But that penalty flag thrown back there. Is that the 34? That wall was being set up for Brown to hit.
During the return, illegal blocking the back. Number 55 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down. Timeout.
Penalty on Arthur Moats will erase a 30-yard return by Brown. ESPN's Monday Night Football brought to you by Autotrader.com. Land a great deal on your perfect car at Autotrader.com. And ESPNFanshop.com, powered by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every open doors, great music coming out of there on a weekend night, any night in Nashville. Our coverage with Spider Cam here at LT Field is brought to you by DirecTV. After the penalty, it brings the Steelers back inside their own 25 to begin the second half. Le'Veon Bell off a good first half, runs just shy of the 30-yard line. He's down at the 29.
Titans did a nice job mixing it up in the first half. Expect that to continue. Here's just a 3-man rush. Roethlisberger has time to survey the defense. Surprised he did not see Dree Archer streaking down the right sideline. Then they come with an all-out 7-man rush. Michael Griffin makes an impact tackle. You don't know what it is until the ball snapped against his Ray Horton defense.
Bell adds to his 77-yard total as he gets the first down just about at the 35-yard line, just back on that punt earlier that was called back with the penalty. It was a legit push in the back. It was a little bit late in terms of getting past the run, but there was also a face mask on Brown, the return man, that was not called. So the Steelers committed a couple of fouls there. The one that got called pushed them back, but they've got the first down now at their own 35. Penalties have been a story for the Steelers, third most penalized team per game in the NFL, after New England and Denver. Roethlisberger, incomplete, trying to hit Marcus Wheaton around midfield, and again it's Bleedy Ray Wilson out of UConn on the coverage.
This Bleedy Ray Wilson had 3 passes broken up in the first half in the red zone. He's all over Marcus Wheaton on this outside breaking route. He is sitting on these Steeler receivers. I'll be surprised if Todd Haley didn't see that and try going after Wilson with a double move of some kind.
And Wilson has struggled as you prepare and watch this team. He has not had a good season here in his second year, but coming up with a good game thus far here tonight. 35, Roethlisberger throws to Antonio Brown, and he'll pick up yet another first down. Their 7th connection of the evening.
A lot of receivers run hook patterns, but Antonio Brown runs them from a close split, and he gets his width and depth as he accelerates to the outside, and it's hard on a cornerback when a receiver surges from a close split. And Pittsburgh does a lot of that with Antonio Brown, who has incredible stop and start quickness.
6th round pick. Emerged to be one of the top receivers in the league. There he is on a quick one from Roethlisberger. And just across midfield and a gain of 4.
They keep blitzing these inside linebackers. Pittsburgh has a running play called, and Roethlisberger just aborted the handoff. It's a double blitz by these inside linebacker. Roethlisberger knows he's got a dead run. He barely got that off. Run game solutions. You call a running play, and if it's an overloaded situation, the solution is pick it up and throw it to Antonio Brown in a hurry.
Out of that bunch to the left, Roethlisberger looks in trouble, and he's brought down at the 41-yard line. Terrific pursuit, and Carl Klug joins Woodyard and Williamson.
Well, Ray Horton said we're going to blitz him and we're going to change Roethlisberger's moves. We're going to make him uncomfortable and we're going to blitz everybody. And they brought the inside linebackers 54 Williamson and 59 Woodyard all night. And if you don't go someplace with the ball quickly, you're going down. Gutty play calling by this Tennessee Titan coaching staff, and these players have backed it up.
And Ray Horton, as we said, protege Dick LeBeau's. LeBeau drafted him when he was in Cincinnati. More blitz, more pressure. 5th sack of the night. Williamson again, the rookie out of Kentucky.
Todd Haley's going to need to get to some maximum protections or some quick throws, or Ben Roethlisberger won't finish this game. They come storming up the blitz. Both linebackers are going to run a cross dog, and Williamson comes scot-free. Good young player, rookie out of Kentucky, making his presence felt.
Back-to-back sacks. Right wing kicks it away. Buster backed up. Fair catch at the 22-yard line. Been a tough night for Roethlisberger. The interception in the red zone at the end of the half, but the pressure they have not solved yet. 5 sacks by the Tennessee Titans, the 2-win Titans, leading by 4. So when this franchise moved from Houston to Tennessee, Steve McNair was the success at the quarterback position. The late McNair, 11 years, over 20 wins, got them to that Super Bowl. They lost to the Rams. But since then, in the search for the next leader, Vince Young has been a high pick who struggled. Kerry Collins did have some success with them. Obviously on down to Jake Locker, another first-round pick invested to try to solve the quarterback position. But all those faces gave you very few long-term answers. Now the 6th-round pick, Mettenberger, in there. Fires a strike to Chase Kaufman, the tight end, with the first down across the 40-yard line. His 3rd reception of the year.
It's good pass protection. Steelers come with a blitz. They pick it up, and out of the play-action pass, Roethlisberger, or excuse me, it looks like Roethlisberger. It's Mettenberger. Showing poise in the pocket and finding Chase Kaufman, a backup tight end who's filling in for Delaney Walker. Well done.
8 of 18. Toss to Sankey. I really like the way he runs across the 45-yard line. Mark him down after a gain of about 4 yards. John, we mentioned Jake Locker, the number 8 overall pick in 2011, has started a few games this season, 4 in all, but once again, he's on the bench.
They just can't stay healthy, Mike, and when you're not available and you miss practice time and game time, it's hard to say that you want to be a part of that as a head coach. And they want to see what Zach Mettenberger can do, although Locker still has a lot of talent, I think, in a future in this league, but got to stay healthy.
2nd and 6. Can Hunter get the toes down? No. Driven out of bounds by Mike Mitchell just as he was trying to get the toes down. And ruled incomplete. Will be 3rd and 6 coming up.
You can see the arm talent of Mettenberger. The ability to throw the ball to the sideline area on a rope. Good call by the official. Hunter has to do a better job tracking the sideline.
Late clock at 5. Get it off just in time. Now are they organized? Hawk for the first down. Back-to-back catches for Kaufman. As many catches on this drive as he's had all season.
This Kaufman was a great receiver at Missouri. Nice pickup by Leon Washington on the left side, and Kaufman, number 86, on a slant burst release, comes out of this break nice and flat. The ball's well thrown again by Mettenberger. I'm impressed with the way the Titans have picked up the blitzes, but you have to be impressed with this young quarterback's ability to work in the pocket.
Bishop Sankey. And a holding penalty is going to be called on Chance Warmack of the Titans, their right guard, 1st-round pick last year.
Holding. Offense number 70. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
John had mentioned Jake Locker earlier, and Locker was part of the starting group this year. Charlie Whitehurst also started some games as Locker got injured, and then they turned to Mettenberger for his 3rd start. Locker is healthy again. He is the backup. That right thumb injury, the 2nd injury he suffered this season, has healed. And Whitehurst is now the inactive 3rd quarterback. The 3 different quarterbacks have started for this team. And now they're seeing what they have in the 6th-rounder, Mettenberger. After the Titans' first penalty of the night, it's 1st and 20. Mettenberger rips one to Hunter. Great catch and run. Justin Hunter finally stepped out of bounds at the 20-yard line, but it's 35 on the game.
The lack of depth in the Steelers secondary is starting to show up. There is no Ike Taylor. Cortez Allen has been benched by being ineffective. Play action pass, they just throw a simple dig route to Hunter, and William Gay falls down. Pittsburgh has given up way too many explosive pass plays this season, and that's the 2nd time the veteran William Gay gets beat.
And a timeout taken by Tennessee. They've had a couple of times this week here where their communications have come up as a point of conversation with the young quarterback. A few times here tonight they've been late getting to the line. As Dick LeBeau's defense tries to figure out what can stem the tide here. Titans have 273 yards of offense here on only 26 plays that they've run here tonight. So they're averaging 10 yards per play.
Well, this Steeler defense is missing a lot of starters. Steve McClendon, the nose tackle, Polamalu, the safety, Ike Taylor, the shutdown corner. Shazier, Jarvis Jones, 2 #1 draft choices, but Tennessee has this Steeler defense on the ropes. They've just given up too many big plays.
The play clock's running down again. They broke the huddle, or they were getting ready to break the huddle. They only had 10 in. Jackie Battle, the fullback, wasn't in. He's really not on the same page here. Still 1st and 10 for the 19. Mettenberger. That Battle came in the game. You're getting the ball. And very close to the 1st down inside the 10-yard line.
Jackie Battle has lined up in that position all year, and the Titans usually motion him into the backfield and use him as a fullback. That time they snapped the ball on a quick count. He runs a pattern into the flat, and Jason Worlds wasn't ready for it. Ken Wisenhunt is doing a nice job with this game plan, breaking some tendencies and using all 5 eligibles.
One for the 1st down, 10 for the touchdown. Mettenberger's pass rejected, and he did a very good experience type play of knocking the ball down there as it was coming back. Kiesel, 2nd time, a deflection tonight.
Done it a long time. You read a short set by the quarterback. You know it's a quick pass. You're not going to get there. Raise your hands, try to bat the ball down. You're seeing a lot more of that in pro football. Massive substitutions on both sides of the ball.
Heavy personnel. Byron Stingley, 68, and Carl Klug, the defensive lineman, 97, all come in. Heavy set. Big bodies to block. Sean Green to pound. 1st and goal, Tennessee.
Boy, did they ever pound. I love that name, Carl Klug. Playing fullback. You bring in a defensive tackle. You use the ex-New York Jet who fumbled last week on the goal line on a little power play off the right side with Carl Klug on the kick-out block. And Will Allen, number 20, would rather take on a fullback.
Sankey. 3-yard line and then pushed back.
I'm like you, Mike. I like this Sankey. He had 1,900 yards, 20 touchdowns last year as a Washington Husky. He's come here and led the Titans in rushing as a rookie. Hasn't fumbled the football. He can catch it. Going to be a good pro. Let's see if the Titans can lean on this offensive line in this situation. Last time they spread them out, they got fooled by a Steeler blitz.
From the 4, here comes the pressure. Big pickup by Sankey. And Mettenberger throws incomplete. A tremendous blitz pickup by the young running back. Gave his quarterback some time, but nobody was open as Harrison got dumped.
Well, it came off his left side where another rookie, Taylor Lewan, working against James Harrison. Harrison has really picked up his pass rush in the last month of this season. Nice pickup by Bishop Sankey. 3rd and goal.
Leon Washington in the game, the 3rd down back next to Mettenberger. Jack scans, tosses to the back of the end zone. Kaufman went up, brought it in for the touchdown.
Chase Kaufman couldn't find a place in Cincinnati, was let go. The Falcons didn't want him in Atlanta, and Chase Kaufman has delivered 3 big catches to put the Titans up 2 scores. Have confidence in your tight end to go up and get it. That time Kaufman beats Antoine Blake. This kid was an outstanding receiver at Missouri, and that's a heck of a throw by Mettenberger, knowing his personnel and a matchup that he had.
Chase Kaufman won the Mackey Award for the top tight end in the country, named after the great John Mackey. He did that career in Missouri, but John talked about his struggles, his injuries, couldn't find a place to play in Cincinnati and Atlanta. It's his 6th year in the league. He has 6 career receptions coming into tonight. He had 3 on that drive. That his first career touchdown. And really, Tennessee, 2-win Tennessee, leading the Steelers by 11. Still a ways to go, but what a night it could be for Zach Mettenberger. Chance to get your first NFL victory on Monday Night Football against Ben Roethlisberger and the two-time champion Steelers. Ben being a two-time champ, of course, on a night where it's the coldest game you've had here in Nashville. The place has so many Steeler fans. Terrible towels were waving. You threw a pick six on the opening drive, but it's an opportunity that Tennessee has really stayed the course. After falling behind 10-0, outscoring the Steelers 24-3 since Wheaton brought down shy of the 30-yard line. And we'll see if this Pittsburgh offense can pick it up. It has been Roethlisberger under siege thus far by the Titans defense. It's the playoffs the last 5 years for Titans. So their opportunities on the national stage are fewer. And they're trying to make the most of it here. How will the Steelers respond? Offense has put up 2 field goals tonight. Roethlisberger, collapsing pocket, backs out, fires it down the sideline, incomplete. As Bryant had escaped to try to make a big play downfield.
It's just one blitz after another. And the secondary of the Titans has held up. And I don't even recognize the secondary of the Titans. They use every man in the secondary room every week. Cody Sensabaugh, Bleedy Ray Wilson, Stafford, they've all made plays tonight. And the Steelers have got to find Ben Roethlisberger some protection quick.
Ray Horton showed this to Joe Flacco in the Ravens' last game for the Titans. Bell running left, took a big pop, turned, got out near the 35-yard line. Mike Tomlin's team has been very good at Heinz Field this year. They're 4-1. They have put up the points. But the loss to the Jets last week had a lot of folks scratching their head. You thought you had the Steelers solved. And here they come on the road, and the only touchdown they scored against the Jets was late in that game. And no offensive touchdowns again here tonight on the road.
Well, you can see why they've been 8-8 the last 2 seasons. They've just been inconsistent.
3rd and 3. Brown lined up in the slot. Ben looking that way. Escaping. Trying to reach to the first down, and Roethlisberger will just shy of the 40-yard line.
It's a great effort by Roethlisberger. They come with another cross dog blitz. Both inside linebackers blitz together. Roethlisberger just beats Derek Morgan for the first down, and boy, did Pittsburgh need that one. Great effort.
Spoken a lot of the relationship with Roethlisberger over the years. Ken Whisenant was his offensive coordinator. And Ray Horton, who's the defensive coordinator for the Titans, was there when Ben got going. And he told us Ben's a good athlete. He can make plays, keep things alive that you usually don't see out of a 6'5" man. And we've seen that over the years. Le'Veon Bell kicks it into another gear. And Bell's down the sideline. And throttles down to the 34-yard line. Good run of 27 for Bell.
Second time I've seen Ben Roethlisberger check. Watch him raise his arm. He checks from one play to another. And you're going to see DeCastro at right guard get a hook block right here on Rapati Pitoa Tua, and off goes Bell to the outside. Le'Veon Bell over 100 yards. He's closing in on 1,000. That's a great job by Roethlisberger. Audibling, well-blocked play.
Third 100-yard game of the season for Bell, who adds to it as he gets hit by Griffin after a gain of 11 and a first down.
Griffin and Bell at real speed. You want to be a pro football player? Listen to this. Michael Griffin. He's been known for big hits.
Bell remains in. Will run right. Damian Stafford comes down from the safety spot. to help make the tackle.
You can see what Roethlisberger's doing, Mike. He knows it's one blitz after another. That time he ran the ball again away from the overload blitz. Sometime running the ball away from these exotic blitzes is the best thing you can do. Baltimore hurt Tennessee with similar runs last week.
Play clock is down to 7. Pressure from everywhere. Roethlisberger hangs in, finds Miller. Heath Miller to the 5-yard line as this third quarter comes to an end.
Pittsburgh has found the right protection. They're picking up these blitzes, and they're on the move.
24-13 Tennessee after 3 on Monday Night Football. 5-degree night in Nashville. Steelers a solid favorite in this game. Mike Tomlin's team off the loss to the Jets after getting hot. Bringing up back-to-back Ben Roethlisberger's 6 touchdown pass games. Never been done by a quarterback in league history. Things looked like they were in position for the Steelers to continue, but Ken Whisenhunt, who once was the offensive coordinator for Pittsburgh when Roethlisberger broke in, has seen his 6th-round rookie Zach Mettenberger come up with the big plays. Titans lead by 11. The Steelers can close it to a 1-score game on this drive. Fourth quarter begins with 1st and goal. Le'Veon Bell reaches for the goal line. Ruled in for the touchdown. The head linesman on the near side had ruled him shy of the goal line. And the line judge from the far side came in and said he was in for the score.
Beautiful play. Heath Miller, tight end, number 83. Did a nice job on the backside, and I think Bell is in there. What a player Bell is. Ben Roethlisberger scramble on 3rd down to keep this drive alive has helped Pittsburgh back in this game.
Now they'll have to take perhaps a bit more time at that angle to see as he stretched when a body part came down. Did the point of the ball break the plane? The hand down gave him the most possible distance to reach out and break the plane. Waiting for confirmation of the score as this is looked at. It's right
The
there.
ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
The hand comes down, but the left hip comes down as he's extending the ball. So this will need further inspection. We'll see if it's a touchdown or right on the edge of the goal line. First-year referee Brad Allen, consultation with Dean Blandino, the league vice president of officiating, who's back in New York at the Art McNally Game Day Central, where they monitor all the games. Got a look at this. Ruled a touchdown on the field.
Review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Just before that hit comes down, the ball gets to the front of the plane, so Bell scores the rushing touchdown. First offensive touchdown for Pittsburgh tonight. 2nd for Bell on the season. And some coaches at this point, late 3rd or early 4th quarter like we are now, would start to play that 2-point chart. Mike Tomlin feels there's more scores to come, so he'll take the extra point with Sweezel. And make it a 4-point game, 24-20. We're here at LP Field in Nashville, and right outside of the field, of course, our Monday night bus, and sitting on the bus, staying warm as he can, watching the game is Ray Lewis, future Hall of Famer, the linebacker. Ray, this is a game that feels like the old AFC North days when Baltimore played Pittsburgh, and games you had with the Titans as well. Great defensive pressure, really forcing the tempo for both sides tonight.
You know what? You don't see this no more in this rivalry, right? Because they don't play each other as much. But back in the old AFC North, this is what these rivalries look like. You just never know which way the games is going to go. Always close games. One of the things that's impressing me the most is how hard-hitting Tennessee's defense is right now, and how much they're blitzing Pittsburgh right now. You know, you would think they would do the opposite and sit in zones, but that's where a lot of those screens to Antonio Brown comes open and things. So So the way they're challenging them tonight is really interesting to see.
Come on, Ray. You're up 4 points. You're playing Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. We're in the fourth quarter. What advice do you have for the Tennessee Titan defense?
Don't stop blitzing. Don't stop blitzing. They're getting there. And you know, the thing that's special is if you sit in zone and you let 4 people rush John, you know, he can get out of that. But the pressure that they're putting on him, they're sending 5 people at him at a time. It's beautiful to watch what their defense is doing, how they're cradling him in this box.
Hang with us, Ray, after the kickoff.
Absolutely.
One more for you. Here's Sweezum to kick off for the Steelers. Sankey from the 1. And the rookie's had a good rushing game. Will stay on his feet, take it across the 30. He's had a terrific night out to the 32-yard line. Ray, I opened the broadcast saying this is a faceless, for the moment, Titans franchise. You went against Eddie George and Steve McNair for years. It is good to see some energy back, just being tonight with this Tennessee team.
There was nothing more exciting, I'm telling you. I know that people think about our Pittsburgh rivalry, but if you go back and watch our rivalries against Eddie George, Steve McNair, Lorenzo Neal, and all those guys, Frank Wycheck, that was one of the greatest rivalries ever. And the loudness of their crowd is what you feel tonight. It was that type of energy.
Good stuff. Stay warm until the postgame. We'll see you on SportsCenter, Ray. Thank you so much.
Okay, buddy. Thank you, guys.
Ray Lewis watching along with you at home and with us here tonight. First down, Sankey. Drops down. Loss of a couple of yards, and now the Steeler defense has to feel some energy, John.
Will Allen filling in for Troy Polamalu. Comes off the right side of the screen and blows up this stretch play. Nice job by Will Allen and a host of Pittsburgh Steelers. 2nd and 12. Zach Mettenberger has been kept upright for the most part by this Titan offensive line. Let's see if Pittsburgh brings a blitz.
Allen comes out. Robert Golden is in at safety on 2nd and 13. The rookie Mettenberger throws complete, but it'll be short for Sankey. Takes it across the 35-yard line. 3rd and 7 coming up.
And the blitz came from Pittsburgh. And Tennessee, again, does a nice job communicating it and picking it up. Left tackle Taylor Lewan fans to the outside and picks up the blitzing Timmons. It allows Mettenberger to find another completion. 3rd down and 6.
Rookie saw the blitz, adjusted the play, throws, crossing route dropped by Kendall Wright. That's everything but. And 3 and out. The Steelers will get the ball back.
Mettenberger uses a dummy snap count. He sees the blitz coming. He changes the protection. That's an excellent job, but they just can't block 97 Hayward. Kiesel 99. Punish Mettenberger, and here's Antonio Brown.
See, that one didn't lead right. He had to go back to get it. Pressure on Kearns. Bad kick. 29 yards. The pressure came from Pittsburgh. The field is flipped. The Steelers are down 4. From Nashville, ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, engineering some of the most advanced vehicles on the road today. And NFL.com/mobile stream live local Sunday and primetime games on your phone. Legendary Bluebird Cafe here in Nashville. Songwriters round the entertainment. Folks just making up some music, singing some songs, collaborating on some great tunes. Garth Brooks, Taylor Swift got their start there. We got a chance to hang with Kenny Chesney earlier this week. What a great city this Nashville is.
Sure is, isn't it? Kenny Chesney.
Steelers score, stop, now a chance to take the lead, starting from their own 35. Big night for Bell, 3rd 100-yard game of this season. Look at him delivering the blow, 10 more, up to 145 yards for the old Spartan.
Man, is he patient. Nice and patient, and then when he decides to hit it, he hits it, and he delivers a blow on impact. Tennessee has had no answer for Le'Veon Bell.
147, his career best in this second year as a Steeler. Did that against Carolina on a Sunday night early in the season. Out of Roethlisberger's hands quickly, it's Lance Moore. Steelers really getting a beat on the pressure of the Titans. 15 there for the veteran Moore.
Roethlisberger seeing the blitz now, Mike. He saw it coming off his left side. He throws a hot to Lance Moore. That's stealing. Lance Moore's caught a lot of receivers, caught a lot of passes. You see the blitz off the right side, and Moore read it perfectly. 1st and 10.
Lance Moore, Super Bowl champ in New Orleans. Drew Brees and Sean Payton's crew. Roethlisberger taking the shot downfield towards Wheaton. Incomplete.
Antonio Brown can't believe that Ben Roethlisberger didn't give him a chance. He's working one-on-one against McCourty against press coverage. Wheaton gets a chance against Cody Sensabaugh, but Antonio Brown, the go-to receiver, he just wants a chance. He's asking Ben, please give me a shot at that one.
Roethlisberger has been excellent in that stat. 20-yard throws downfield this year. 19 of 42 before tonight. 0 of 6 tonight. This has been the Steelers' offensive MVP, Le'Veon Bell, who has already set a Pittsburgh record this season for most receptions by a running back.
That was a great play right there by Roethlisberger. Lance Moore not on the same page as Big Ben. And Roethlisberger had the poise to reset his feet and find Le'Veon Bell to set up a critical 3rd down and 2. They love to isolate Antonio Brown on the backside of trips. Keep an eye on that matchup if he gets a one-on-one.
Sack would take him out of field goal range. Pressure's on. Bell releases. And Bell gets the 1st down. To the 22.
Hey, when you blitz, you have to cover your man if he runs a route. That time, I don't know if it's George Wilson, number 21, or who should peel out of this blitz. Perhaps Quentin Groves, number 53, but Tennessee just blew a coverage. And that is a back you don't want to have a blown coverage against.
The Titans 22, Bell. I love the way he runs. 4-yard gain there. It's almost like he comes to this, if you were watching a horse, if you're at a track, it's boom, boom. Now the hoofs come down, boom, boom. He gets the ball, surveys the defense, just almost freezes, and then has that explosion. I love watching him run.
I like listening to you make that boom sound.
Right there.
Boom. He's a great back. Versatile, he can do it all. And he can pick up the blitz, and he never fumbles.
Second and 6. Here he goes again. Bell puts his shoulder down. Runs through Griffin. And gets very close to the 1st down.
That's what Roethlisberger is doing. He's calling 2 plays in the huddle. He alerts one play with another. That time he raises his hands and he activates the 2nd play. And a lot of these activation plays have been runs. Watch him raise his fists. He turns it into a counter. They pulled to Castro, the right guard, Heath Miller, the tight end, and off goes Bell.
Collisions he and Griffin have had. Bell 25 for 155 tonight. Fullback Will Johnson in motion. Roethlisberger, play action, end zone, touchdown! Antonio Brown gives the Steelers the lead.
He just beat the best 2 defenders who had him doubled. McCourty and Griffin have Antonio Brown doubled. And Brown burns both of them. Play action pass, and Antonio Brown on an inside release with a beautiful hesitation move on Michael Griffin. What a route.
Ba-boom. That was really pretty. When the Pittsburgh offense rolls, it is their killer bees. Orchestrated by Ben. The punishing running of Dell. And the exclamation point with Brown. Nice touchdown catch of the year. Pittsburgh, back-to-back touchdowns. They lead by 3. Driving over to the stadium about 4 hours before kickoff, and when you wind your way through from downtown here to the stadium, right along the Cumberland River, you pass through a stretch of restaurants and bars, and I looked at you, I've never seen this many fans of the road team. And you see all those terrible towels in the black and gold here. And check out the guy in the sombrero. All having a good time here as Steeler fans who travel well have made the 9-hour or so journey. Their team has scored back-to-back touchdowns to take a 3-point lead. Bishop Sankey's giving them some good kickoff returns. He's had a terrific night. Sankey turning the corner and brought down finally by B.W. Webb, crossing the 35-yard line. Bishop Sankey, Le'Veon Bell have had good performances. So has Roethlisberger. After the struggles in the first half, better second half in offense. So now can this young Tennessee offense, in your key spots, left tackle, quarterback, running back, all rookies, can they respond in a game where they have led for a majority of the second and third quarter and now trail by 3? Zach Mettenberger's got time. Does he have anybody open? Yes, he does. Again, Kendall Wright working the sideline, had the first down, then stepped back. They're going to still give him the first down just past the 46.
Kendall Wright on a shallow cross. They were looking for Justin Hunter deep. Nobody was open. Nice job by Mettenberger finding Kendall Wright. Productive slot receiver.
Mettenberger's thrown for 248 tonight, 2 touchdowns. Harrison and Kiesel hit Sankey. Lawrence Timmons right in the middle of it as well.
Brett Kiesel chews up blocks. He keeps his inside linebackers clean. And some of these running backs that try to cut the ball back, they forget how hard Brett Kiesel can hit. What a Pittsburgh Steeler. What a bargain he has been. Former 7th-round draft choice. Clearly a leader on this Steeler football team.
Kendall Wright doesn't hold on. Incomplete pass. It'll be third down.
Excuse me, Mike. Same quick screen they ran in the first half with great success. Hard to beat a Pittsburgh Steeler defense coached by Dick LeBeau twice on the same play. Good pursuit. And even if Wright caught that clean, he was going nowhere.
James Harrison at least got in his vision, perhaps got a finger on it. And Dick LeBeau at age 77. Matching play calling wits with Ken Whisenhunt. Good friend when they were on the same staff in Pittsburgh. Third and 9. Mettenberger throws. It's caught, but he couldn't get up and run Derek Hagan, so he'll be 3 yards shy of the first down. 4 yards shy.
Excuse me again, Mike, but Mettenberger's got to make this throw somehow, some way. Pittsburgh comes with a blitz. An accurate throw in front of the receiver's numbers would give Hagan a chance to run for the first down. But back-to-back third down blitzes have forced Tennessee's offense off the field.
Bad punch last time by Kern. This time tries to pin Pittsburgh back deep. That's only at the 20. It's a 38-yard punt with no return. Inside of 7 minutes left, Steeler lead and ball. The College Hoops Marathon underway and a great doubleheader in Indianapolis tomorrow. Tom Izzo Spartans against Coach K's Duke Blue Devils. And then a top 5 matchup, Kansas and #1 Kentucky. The home court of College Hoops, ESPN. And Marathon gets the season going. So games all night tonight, all day tomorrow. Headlined by those two in the Circle City. For the great programs in the history of the sport. Steelers by 3 inside of 7 minutes left. Le'Veon Bell again to the 25-yard line.
Well, it's a beautiful touchdown play to Antonio Brown. He beats a double. McCourty at the bottom of the screen, Michael Griffin at the top. You can't do it any better. And Kelvin Beachum at left tackle does an excellent job giving Roethlisberger the time. And you can't square a defender up and come out of your break any better than Antonio Brown just did it. There's a lot of big receivers that are having big years, but boy, that kid is as good as anyone I've seen.
Now 88 catches on the year for Brown. Pressure coming. Roethlisberger just got rid of it. And Bell had it knocked out of his hands. Incomplete pass. He never had it. Cameron Wembley had the big free hit on Roethlisberger, who's slow to get up.
Ben's hurt. Slow to get up. All out blitz again.
Wembley untouched off the edge.
95 at the bottom of your screen. Heath Miller blocked the most dangerous to the inside. Pittsburgh's one short in pass protection.
Bell never really secures that. So that's why it's an incomplete pass and not a fumble and then all the scrum and stuff after.
There are some big hits in this game. Griffin hits Bell and Wembley hits Roethlisberger. Let's see if Ben is okay.
And Pittsburgh takes a timeout here to give Roethlisberger a chance to make sure he is okay. Go back over the now 3 years with Todd Haley as the offensive coordinator. The reason why is so Ben doesn't take those kind of hits. And Ray Horton is certainly showing Dick LeBeau all that he taught him over the years by the blitzes and the pressures, and Ben's feeling it tonight.
And he's calling 2 plays in the huddle, Mike. He's calling 1 play for a Titan defense that's not blitzing, and if he sees the blitz, he'll see him raise his 2 hands and kill the play to another one that's designed to beat the blitz. So he's going to call 2 plays here and then get up to the line of scrimmage quickly and try and diagnose what it's going to be.
No bleeding. Ray Wilson, the corner for Tennessee, has a back injury, and this has been challenged, I believe, by Ken Wisenhunt.
Tennessee is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Did Bell have it or not? That's his question. They'll take a look at it. The first aspect of a catch is firm grip and control, and I don't think that ever happened, and Tennessee questioned that, thus they challenged. Brad Allen has taken a look at it. Does he have firm grip and control of the ball, then get the 2 feet down with time to perform and act common to the game, able to do something with it? All those criteria mean a catch.
After reviewing the play, the ruling of an incomplete pass is confirmed. The pass is incomplete. Tennessee is charged with a timeout and loses the first challenge.
Yeah, that's a timeout you might need in a 3-point game with 6:07 to go.
That's about the 5th big hit that Michael Griffin is laid down tonight. 3rd down and 4.
Titans have 6 defensive backs out. Lone linebacker is the rookie Williamson. Ben's had a look at who might come at him. Here they come, got rid of it quick. Wheaton caught it, first down across the 30 to the 31, Marcus Wheaton.
Oh, when you bring an all-out blitz, the cornerbacks know the ball is coming out quick. They should have inside technique. That time Wheaton Beat McCourty easily for the first down. And you see Ramon Foster, the left guard. He's going to be tapping to center Pouncey when Roethlisberger's ready for the ball, so Pouncey can survey the blitzing Titans.
First downs, give you a couple more minutes to run off the clock. Bell, career high in carries, and he accelerates again and delivers the blow on George Wilson on that 27th carry of the night.
When you run a counter play, you need a guard that can pull and kick out the edge. DeCastro, 66, does it beautifully. Le'Veon Bell, 171 yards tonight.
Willie Parker, last time a Steeler has had that many running yards, and Bell adds to it. He's now at 181, and the Titans can't stop him.
David DeCastro is wearing out the outside linebackers of the Titans. Right guard is going to pull and trap Cameron Wembley. You'll see Will Johnson, 46, up inside against Michael Griffin. This is old school Pittsburgh Steeler football.
The guy coaching their offensive line right now, John, Mike Munchak, has got to be so sweet for him. Was the Titans head coach the last 3 seasons. It's an offensive line that struggled in the season, struggled in the first half. 5 sacks of Roethlisberger. But they have set a tone here in the 3rd and the 4th. And Bell is getting 10, now 8 yards. And the Titans, who lost the timeout on that challenge inside of 4 minutes, are running out of time.
They're mauling him, Mike. Pouncey at center, Foster at left guard, right guard DeCastro. Sammy Hill, number 94, gets doubled off the screen. It's closing time. I would run the ball again behind Pouncey and DeCastro. Titans just made major substitutions up front.
Play 67 for Pittsburgh tonight. Bell has stopped Carl Klug. Comes over, makes the play, but I think he's got enough for the first down at the 39-yard line. As we get close to 3 minutes left with 2 timeouts for Tennessee. They get 1.
That's one way that you keep these defensive tackles from being double teamed. Blitz everybody. Sammy Hill, 94, 99, Jarrell Casey. Got to dig down deep now because they know what's coming. Everybody in the stadium knows what's coming. Le'Veon Bell.
His 250th touch of the year. And he still hasn't fumbled. He almost did as he got hit, but he took that one to the 30. He closes in on a 200-yard rushing night as we get close to the 2-minute warning.
Michael Griffin, 33, misses a tackle here, and it just shows you incredible elusiveness from Le'Veon Bell. He's got power, vision. He's a great receiver. He's elusive. He's lost a lot of weight, Mike.
And
this kid's going a long way.
And he just hit the 200-yard mark at the 2-minute warning. The Steelers leading by 3.
Chilly and close here in Nashville. Hi, folks. Steve Levy in for Stuart Scott one more time here. And coming up, we'll have Sports Center, the GMC postgame report. Ray Lewis, Trent Dilfer, Steve Young. They'll help me break down this very tight affair. We'll have the top plays from Week 11 around the National Football League. And the fellas will react to what RG3 had to say yesterday and his tweets today. That's all coming up on Sports Center immediately following the game. Upstairs to Mike and John. Mike, that booth better not be enclosed up there, Mike.
Not a chance,
Tell
Steve.
me about it.
Not a chance. It's like talking to a freezer for 4 hours, cold night. But it's been a very entertaining night, to say the least. 200 yards for Le'Veon Bell, 81 of those yards after contact. Titans have the lone timeout in the 2nd and a short 2. And right back to Bell, who's got the first down. And Tennessee uses that lone remaining timeout at 1:54 to go. Steelers in great shape. Be right back. First down, no timeouts inside of 2 minutes. The Steelers are golden on this night when Le'Veon Bell did something that Franco Harris, Barry Foster, and Jerome Bettis, as Steelers, did not do. Run for 200 yards. With 3 other men. I mentioned Willie Parker, Frenchie Fuqua, John Henry Johnson, the other Steelers to run for 200 yards in a game. Hit behind the line, 2-yard loss. Griffin with the stop.
These are the times that when you're a play caller or you're an offensive lineman, you know it's going to be a running play call. You know the defense knows and everybody in the stadium knows, and you still continue to run the ball right down their throat. And I am shocked we have not seen LeGarrette Blount at all tonight. It has been all Le'Veon Bell.
Just for a snap. The Steelers working the math and the clock management, and this is where they should have been when they were inside of 2 minutes and had a first down. Griffin tried to get over there to the other side quickly. Ben just takes a knee. One more time, and that'll do it. It'll be a huge win for the Steelers to get to 7-4, just right behind Cincinnati by percentage points in the AFC North.
When you look on that Pittsburgh sideline, you see Ike Taylor down there, their outstanding corner. Troy Polamalu, Ryan Shazier, Jarvis Jones, 2 first-round draft choices, Steve McClendon. They have 5 outstanding defensive players coming back after the bye next week. With this offense, look out.
We'll slide the Steelers over with one more. You see the key games left. Baltimore, who we see next week, has the easiest remaining schedule. Pittsburgh, the toughest, but as we've seen in the NFL, it's so hard to figure out what will happen next. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh still have their home and home in the division to go. So the Steelers are going to move to 7-4 as they close out Tennessee, scoring the last 2 touchdowns of this game, holding the ball for the final nearly 7 minutes and not giving Mettenberger and the Titans a chance. Le'Veon Bell will go down as the star tonight. 5th man in Monday Night Football history to have a 200-yard rushing game. He ran for 2:04 tonight. Final score from Tennessee: Steelers 27, Titans 24. John Gruden, Lisa Salters, Jay Rothman, Chip Dean leading our great group in the truck. Mike Tirico, so long from Nashville. Stay tuned for SportsCenter.